this is an event that's looking at future forward HR. And I'm going to start with you, Felicia. If I can just ask you, in your world, outsourcing, what does future forward HR mean for you?
Future forward HR to me means a progressive approach to managing human resources. That approach is strategic and is also tech-enabled. It focuses on preparing organizations to take advantage of the technology explosion and the challenges of the future. It's a future that is shifting away from admin tasks to strategic tasks. It's a future that is obviously, as said by the keynote speaker, a shift away from a shift to skills rather than jobs. It's also a future that is people-centric, though data-driven. So generally, if organizations take advantage of these processes, they're able to remain competitive and agile and relevant in the future of work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Uchenna, same question for you. And what does future forward mean in your world?
Future forward for me, it's simply just being ready for the future. HR that can work with the future organization. And when in terms of AI, that future is already here. It's in front of us. It's something that we have to deal with. And I usually say the world had always evolved. The picture Daniel had, we had desktop computers. There was a world when it was typewriters, and it moved to computers. And we had to prepare the organization for that. From computers, it moved to desktops and laptops. I remember, I hope I'm not dating myself.
Please go for it.
When people moved from desktop and then laptops, we are only the executives that had laptops, And then at some point, everybody started taking laptop. Guess what happened? People started taking work home. Managers started having expectations of people outside of work hours. So that's also, we're moving into a world where it's AI, meaning that the world will change. Whether we are ready or not, it's going to happen. And I think the future forward HR has to be ready so that we are not surprised by what that brings for us. So it's just being ready to deal with the new reality that technology has advanced and the tools available to us are faster, better, and of course the expectations are more from the business.
Thank you. Adaptability within that as well. Thank you. Busola, your thoughts? I mean, coming from Olaniwun Ajayi, I don't know if there is any particular angle that you may have when you think about future forward HR.
Thank you very much. So from my own angle, when it comes to the HR team of the future, we need to leverage on technology, collaborating with AI, with technology. And what I think is for us to be prepared as HR leaders, we need to be able to come up with strategies that are tailored towards artificial intelligence and technology, or most importantly, strategies that can help us develop our talent, with the little solutions or tools that we have access to. And for me, it's just about aligning the business goals. But looking forward, what skill set do we intend to hire in the nearest future? It means we need to carry out things around competency analysis to be sure we have the right talent to be able to thrive in the future. So for me, I'd say future forward HR, simply a team of HR professionals or experts that are looking for a way to create an amazing people experience for people, be able to leverage data to be able to predict the future of work, and able to engage people, basically. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iroche. This is a world you live and breathe, I think, this idea of AI or the reality of it. I'd really like to know from your perspective, future forward HR, what is that? What does it mean for you?
A future of work, seriously, has changed. AI is a marathon, is not a sprint. HR cannot be seen as a silo outside of the organization. First, there is what we call AI readiness assessment methodology. The entire organization has to buy key into it. If you leave it alone to HR, it's not going to work. And who are the major stakeholders in an organization? You have to first get the board of directors or the partners to understand the extent of the impact of AI on the future of work. And if you look at my cap, I say AI or die. Those organizations that do not adopt AI quickly will die. And it's sad to tell you that Africa is not in the AI race. In the world, we have 11,850 data centers. 5,800 of them are in the US. 490 mega data centers are in China. They are huge. The whole of Africa has about 140. South Africa has about 49 of those. And sadly, Nigeria has only about 8. And out of the 8, only about 2 are what you can call data center. And data and AI require huge resources, electricity and water. And we don't have those in Nigeria. And we call ourselves the giant of Africa. It is very important that we get it right. Now, June 26th of June this year, the Economist wrote, who needs Accenture in the age of AI? So it is up to you to start rescaling, retooling your business model, because actually the Economist used the word Accenture, that who needs Accenture in the age of AI?
According to the stats that we've seen in our report, there isn't enough strategic HR within that. Uchenna, if I can ask you, within your world, how would you describe the application of AI strategies when it comes to talent management and HR? Is if you don't mind talking about flour mills, can you tell us what you are doing, what has changed, some of the areas you've been successful, some of the areas you may not? Just give us a little bit of flavor.
All right, thank you. I think when it comes generally, and I'll speak rather than just flour mill, generally in terms of how AI is being used. Like it's been said, in Nigeria, in Africa, we're still at the beginning of the journey. You know, we haven't advanced as much as we want to do. And fortunately or unfortunately, something we have to do pretty quickly so that we can catch up with the rest of the world as this change is imminent upon us. There's so many ways we can use AI, and there's so many ways we are using AI to help us. You know, the first time you talked about legacy organizations. How do we bring about the change? I think the first thing is just helping the business and helping people to see the win-win situation or the reality that is on top of us. And doing it in such a way that it appears beneficial and non-threatening. Now, I like the fact it said your job will disappear. And that is part of the language that actually makes people very uncomfortable with venturing into AI, and some people are resisting. So what I try to do and try to say is the world changed, again, from no computers to computer. People still had work. The type and nature of work changed, but don't approach it like it's the end of the world, because it's going to happen, but you have to be ready for it. How prepared are we to go to the next way of working with this reality? There's an example I like giving. You know, when I have a child who is young and they say, bring calculator, we're like, no, Dad was like, why are you using calculator at this age? You know, it's going to make you guys lazy. By the end of the day, we realize when he goes to the workplace, his ability to calculate 27 by 302 on his head is not going to matter. In fact, the joke then was, at that point, once you say 27 times 320, something will just spill the answer in the air. What is happening is that, but we also realized that the nature of work they're being given was higher than we did in those grades. So they had to up-level the expectations from them because some of the things had gone, off what is required. So it's just helping the business to see, look, some things are going to change, But once we allow AI to help us in this area of screening the CVs, doing some then we are going to be able to have time to do higher level work that will bring more value to the business. Then we are able to skill people differently for what you need for the future. So one of it is just helping people to see that. The other one I say is minimize the use of buzzwords. I call them trigger words. Sometimes when you say some words, nobody's going to listen to the next sentence you're saying because you said AI. So look for more creative ways to say, how are we looking at how to optimize our process, how to do this, so that they're listening to you before you say, by the way, we're going to have to use AI to do that. So that's one of the ways you look at embracing it. How is this helping in area of recruitment? AI is one of the ones we are actively looking at to see. In area of actually even the analysis that happens. So, and I'll just give another example. I had to do some work that required understanding why we're not able to attract more female, and we looked through it and did some analysis and found that, okay, actually, all the assessments, and this was in my previous life, all the assessments that happened before human interaction, the outcome was 50-50. So meaning that 50% female application, 50%. But once it came to interviews requiring this, it dropped to like 10%. You understand? It took several months to get to that point. When you have things like AI, it's already giving you indication that these are the things that are happening. How do you solve for it? These are the biases in the system. How do you remove that? So in recruitment, is a very powerful tool to use. In learning, personalized is a very powerful tool to use. But like I said, in Nigeria, still at the early stages. We're still getting into it. Fortunately, there's a lot of openness in my organization to embrace AI. One of the things we've decided is that we would assess this based on the maturity of the unit to take it in. But even if you're not matured, we'll still find that area where you can work on so that you start the journey.
There is a lot of pressure, I feel, sometimes within the industry to move into technology or move into AI. What are we doing about it? And I guess I love this idea of looking at the unit and looking at their maturity level and saying, how can we apply it within the context of this unit as well? It's interesting to talk about the role also, our Chinedu AI, the role that we have, our teams are going to be made up potentially of AI agents. So Felicia, I wonder if you can talk to us a little bit about your world of outsourcing, if you're seeing any changes in the requirements that organizations have of the people, of the skills, or if you imagine that changing at any point.
There's the need to deliver results much more quickly. There's the need for more flexible solutions. There's also the need for accuracy, as well as to provide data-driven insights. So as outsourcing companies, there's the need to redefine our value proposition to be able to serve in this dispensation. We agree that different organizations are at different levels in the AI journey. Some haven't started at all, some are at the midpoint, and certainly in some industries like financial services, they are at a more advanced stage. So what outsourcing companies can do is to offer smarter solutions. They themselves will have to embrace AI solutions. They have to invest in training and retraining and upskilling and reskilling for staff so that they will be able to engage and provide those solutions. Of course, a lot of tasks have been automated. Generally, outsourcing is basically manual, but you find that because of the technological advancement, most providers have had to automate their tasks. And I believe it's a good starting point to automate tasks like payroll, like data entry, like scheduling. I believe that we are also offering data-driven insights. And of course, we know that data is the lifeblood of AI. So as outsourcing companies, there's the need to comply with the Nigerian data protection regulation provisions so that the issues that we talk about data, about biases, about privacy, we can give clients the confidence to trust the solutions that we provide them. We're also going to build cross-industry AI capabilities. so that we can respond to the different needs of our clients. I believe that outsourcing companies, they are partners. They can partner with relevant educational institutions to provide training and development. I believe if they adopt all of these steps, they will be able to give comfort to the clients that we support. And together, we can go on this journey and improve as we go ahead.